Fred, come here. What a boring weekend. Oh, hey, Dave.
Hey, Danny. Why are you looking so sad?
Well, you know, I was really excited about those new codexes that were coming out. GW didn't give them to us to review this time.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. But thanks to our Patreons, we've got them to review.
Yeah! Oh, man. Oh, sorry. Let me just move this second place trophy that I got at a GT this weekend so we can start this review.
Dick move, dude. Putting that in there like that.
Well, you know, I like to say it's like a humble brag. Hey, this is Danny.
And Dave.
From Mob Rules. And today we're going to be reviewing a Codex Supplement Iron Hands.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So good.
I bet you're pretty excited about this, Dave.
Dude, as the guy that has played Iron Hands since the beginning of 8th, until Bobby G made it the only way to play Space Marines viable was with Ultramarines, I am so excited.
I bet. I mean, they're pretty cool.
Shoot. Yeah. No, my Iron Hands love goes back to Sons of Medusa in the early 90s.
Nice.
So...
It was my first fully painted Space Marine army. I had Iron Hands army. So...
Well, it was pretty easy. It's pretty easy to paint, actually.
Yeah, just black and some white symbols.
Black,
very
dry brush.
thickly painted on. Yeah. The cogs are hard when you're starting out, but, you know, they get easier over time.
It's just like motto to live
else.
by, actually.
Yeah. All right. So let's start first with the Iron Hands named character, the contentious Iron Father Ferios.
The guy who's going to go up in points soon? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So he's only 110 points, which is very cheap for what you get.
Sorry, I believe you mean synergistically priced.
Oh, sure.
Perfectly
competitively priced, if you will. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Too competitively. Anyway, so Iron Father Ferios is a master of the Forge, and he's kind of the new character for the Iron Hands this edition. Well,
I mean, if you read the lore, he's not new at all. He's been around since forever.
Well, he's undergone the Rubicon Primaris and become supersized. He's gotten supersized. He's extra large. He's a beefy boy.
Yeah, he's good.
So he clocks in at a massive 7 wounds, 5 attacks.
Well, he's in Gravis, so that makes perfect sense.
Sure. Yeah. Actually, I think he has 1 more wound even than a normal captain in Gravis armor. I think Captain Gravis armor is only 6.
No, I think he's 7 now.
I'll have to relook. Yeah, we'll look. Anyway, which is great for him. I think that's really solid. He's got a good amount of attack, same as a Primaris captain, which is really nice. So he goes to 6 attacks in the first round of combat. He's got a bolt pistol. He's also got Gorgon's Wrath, which is a heavy bolter. That's minus 2 AP, 2 damage. That is such a good weapon, man. It is,
especially considering when you start off the game in your tactical doctrine, so you have Gorgon's Wrath is now a heavy 3/5 strength 5 minus 3 AP 2 damage weapon. That's just killing other Space Marines.
Heck yeah! So funny story. I played a couple of games with this so far, right? And the Gorgon's Wrath, there was a 1 knight left with 2 wounds left. Shot it with this, killed it. It was pretty epic. Cool, your character just
dice from a podcast or just
No, I use good dice.
Good dice, got it.
Yeah. And then he also has Harrow Hand, which is his axe, plus 3 strength, minus 2 AP, 2 flat damage. So decent. It's a power axe that gets extra strength and has 2 flat damage. And then he also has a pair of servo arms. Which he can use. He can only substitute up to 2 of his attacks for those, and those would be strength 8 minus 2, 3 flat damage with a minus 1 to hit.
Yeah.
So, just gives him some options if he wants to swing with those instead of the Harrow Hand, which I think I probably would most of the time.
I just like the second. You've got 1 claw that's down at the bottom on this model, down here.
Oh yeah, right.
And
right
then
there.
You got the one up top. That's the actual claw from like
a claw machine.
A claw machine. Like he's just reaching in, like, come on, get a wound, get a wound.
I got your head. Got him.
Decapitated.
So the thing that this guy has going, and best thing he has going for him, is all of his special rules. Like, his stat line's good. 7 wounds is awesome. But really, the stat line is, or not the stat line, but the abilities are where the moneymaker is for this guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
So he's got a Signum Array. So you get to pick an Iron Hands unit within 3 inches of him. Yeah, 3 inches. And they get ballistic skill 2 up. So this is super important in a couple of different ways. Number one, if you have a bracketed vehicle, which with Iron Hands is probably
impossible,
which is pretty unlikely, but still, you could unbracket your vehicle and make it ballistic skill 2 up. Doesn't matter, which is pretty phenomenal.
I mean, it's the Signum Array is basically the same thing of a Devastator Sergeant has to be able to give one guy.
Yeah, except it's an entire unit.
Except that it's supersized.
Right. Or you can just make one of your Predator or your Repulsor Executioners ballistic skill 2 up.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And then it's 2 up rerolling 1s to hit. Yep, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right.
I don't know, Danny. It doesn't feel that good. Please don't nerf me, GW.
And so then he has Master of the Forge, which is the same ability the Tech Marines have. However, he also has Blessings.
So Blessing of the
Blessing of the... Yeah,
yeah,
right. And then he's got Master of the Forge, which means he, instead of just healing D3, he just heals 3 all the time. Always 3.
All Tech Marines should do for Iron Hands. So I think that should just be a flat thing across the board.
No, thank God that's not the case. He also has Artificer Bionics, which gives him a 5-up Ignore Wounds roll.
Yeah,
which is really nice.
Instead of a 6-up.
Great.
Which, if I'm rolling, is still a 0. I mean, still all wounds.
Well,
it's still everything through.
Yeah, still good. And then finally, probably the most powerful ability that he has, in my opinion, is the Rite of Tempering. Rites of Tempering. And that's Iron Hands units have a 5-up invulnerable save within 6 inches of him.
Yeah, that ability right there is either going to change. I could see it being FAQ very quickly to be wholly within.
Okay.
Or, his points cost will go up. Because that ability right there at 110 is insane.
I think he's probably just going to have a points increase. Very rarely does GW change abilities on data sheets before they'll change point values. So I'd say he's easily worth, I would say even at 150 points, he's probably still an auto take.
Yeah,
I would say he's probably, he should probably be 175 points.
Well, when we sat down and figured this out, the points cost for him, 2 arms, power axe. When they previewed him, it was like, hey, he's got a heavy bolter, which is, 2 points or something stupid like that. 6 points?
10.
10? Yeah. So that's 10 points. He's in Gravis. So
Thanks, Fred.
So if you treat him like a captain in Gravis, well, he's tired after that long walk you took him on at the beginning of the video.
Yeah, well, he's thirsty.
Yeah. This is the part of the video where we just let Fred drink.
Yep. All right. So,
so anyways, we were point costing him out. God damn it, Fred
just starts again.
So as we point cost him out,
so server arms are free, right?
Gravis. They're not 2 of them.
Yeah, they're free.
Server arms
0 points. Yeah.
I mean, all right. So
regardless,
Tech
Marine is a Tech Marine, right? So he's got a Relic Axe, which has got to be some points.
Yeah.
He's got a Gravis Armor Captain who's around 100 points.
It's 110 or something, 106, I think is what he is. So, you add the 10 Heavy Bolter, you add the Power Axe, which is going to be 8 or 10 points, I think, for a Power Axe. I can't remember. And then,
he's just a really good deal. And so then all of the other abilities are free, if you think about that.
Yeah, you're basically getting all of him for free.
Really powerful. So, he's really great. You should definitely, if you're going to play Iron Hands, you should, and not a successor chapter for Iron Hands, you should definitely take him in your army, I think. He gets double thumbs up.
You missed. No, you only got 1 thumb in that. There it is.
Okay. All right, moving on.
Daddy's double thumbs up. I'm just going to cut that out and put an actual graphic of double thumbs up to just make it better.
Great. All right, so the Sons of the Gorgon page gives you some special rules, and they get a special combat doctrine. So when your Iron Hands army is in Devastator Doctrine, all of your units on the table get to ignore the penalty for moving and shooting heavy weapons, and reroll 1s to hit with heavy weapons.
Just so we're clear on this one, Danny, is there any type of vehicles that you could suddenly see being used and getting play all of a sudden that wouldn't have gotten play because they might have moved and shot heavy weapons at a -1 with no rerolls? before now adding them into an Iron Hands army.
Oh, like planes?
Oh, like planes?
Yeah.
You think planes would be good?
Yeah, I think planes are
Like
pretty good.
the hover jet and the strafey jet?
Yeah, the hover jet and strafey jet. That's their official name.
I think so. Please go into
Strafey
your local
is-
GW and ask for the hover jet and the strafey jet.
Yeah, please buy multiple strafey jets. It's easy to trademark that name too.
Tell
I
them
think,
Mob
I heard.
Rules sent you, so it's fine.
But the Stormhawk, Storm Talon are going to be really great choices for Iron Hands. Ignoring that penalty for moving and shooting and rerolling ones, huge. Especially since both of those things get +1 to hit against various different targets.
Yep.
So they're going to be hitting on 2s against their preferred target unless they have a penalty and rerolling 1s. So even with a -1, they're still hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, which is huge.
Yeah, so the Invictus Warsuit, first off, I will admit, it's the first model for Primaris I didn't like. The reason I didn't like it is because GW doesn't know how to make pilots.
Sure.
They just don't. They all look the same. And whoever's in charge of that probably should be fired. It's the first time we're going to say
dang,
that. I'm just
dude,
saying
that's
it right
harsh.
now. I'm
Alright.
saying it right now. It's a beautiful model designed by Tom Holland, the same guy that did the Repulsor Executioner, and the...
What if he did the driver on
He
that?
didn't, actually.
Okay.
He has said that he didn't do it. Now, he could have been lying to me because I threatened him with pitchforks, but
Yikes.
I saw
Dave,
a
what do you
conversion.
do online? How have you not gotten more cease and desists?
There are a lot of them. I have a whole department that handles that for me. I don't know.
Hard to keep track anymore.
I did see a conversion, though, where they used the spare Redemptor chest plate
Oh, cool.
and just went over the top of the armor.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that looks way the hell better. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing.
Nice. Okay.
But those right there, I was like, they're just not that fine. They're good, and I've seen them in play, but they're not as good until you give Iron Hands to them.
Yeah.
Because you get to infiltrate up with your guns. You don't need it for the flamer, but with the
Flamer is even
because-
still a heavy weapon, so you get
Right.
an extra AP on it.
yeah, you get an
which is
extra
nice.
AP. You get the just no penalty for the everything else. The what are their autocannons, right? The autocannons.
They're heavies.
Now the autocannons are hitting on 3s instead of 4s and rerolling 1s. So
Yep.
you're right in their face just delivering a punishing blow. It's
Yes.
really good.
So
now.
far, to me, it really seems like Iron Hands are definitely the shooty Space Marines so far that we've seen. Who knows about Imperial Fists? I would be, and Salamanders too, but I would be surprised if Salamanders were also super shooty. I think they're probably going to be pretty tough.
They're kind of I feel like they're kind of a Salamanders will probably be a jack of all trades a little bit. Like
Sure.
kind
Well, I
of-
think they're going to be good at close range firefights. I mean, that's what I hope they're good at because that's what they should be really good at.
yeah, but
I don't know. Anyway, so with Iron Hands, you can already see a penchant for heavy weapons. I think you're going to want to take as many heavy weapons as you can and just stay in Devastator Doctrine and never leave Devastator Doctrine.
I will be honest, I did not leave Devastator Doctrine the entire time I played at our GT.
Wow. I did, but I was playing Ultramarines, so
Right.
to be fair, it was really good for me to move to combat or to tactical doctrine. So you can see there's a penchant for heavy weapons. I think you're going to see a lot of vehicles. As you can see with the character, they've got buffs for healing vehicles. You can give a unit a 2+, and when you talk about a tank with a ton of guns on it, hitting on a 2+, pretty good.
Yeah, very solid.
Rerolling 1s, also pretty good. That means you don't have to take a captain if you don't want to, which is really nice.
Or even a chapter master.
Sure, you can just go without, which is pretty cool.
Definitely take a lieutenant still though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Always take
Lessons
lieutenant.
learned.
Yep, Dave's lessons. All right. So we've got. So we talked about the Calculated Fury. Then it goes on about successor chapters and how that works exactly, and how the successor chapter plays out or replaces the Iron Hands rules in any of these future documents for the rest of the document. Really cool. It's highly, if you want to play a successor, you can kind of mess around with those successor traits and make something that's a little bit more your style. I've definitely seen some people mess around with like the Raven Guard one, where you get a +1 cover save if you're over 12 inches away, or you count as being in cover, which is really nice for this style of army as well. And then getting the half damage or count for double wounds for brackets is pretty good for them too.
I can't give up the Overwatch on 5s and 6s.
It's really good.
It's so good. The brackets and then the feel no pain. the amount of times that has saved me when I make a tactical error, or as they call it, Dave playing the game, is just.
Are you saying
good.
that in itself is a tactical error?
That's probably, yeah.
Okay, fair.
I was at the table, therefore tactical errors are automatic.
All right, then we've got Warlord traits. So they did preview the Student of History Warlord trait on the GW website, which is also what Farios has. So, which is a great Warlord trait, man. So being able to consolidate 6 inches and not have to pick your direction is ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
it's
you can just leave
good.
combat and then get to assault and charge and do whatever as long as you don't get wrapped.
Yep, it's pretty solid.
It's nuts.
But so you have what's the Adept of the Omnissiah?
Yeah, Adept of the Omnissiah is the first one here. This is a great one. It allows you to give basically the Tech Marine ability to a non-Tech Marine character, or if you pick a Tech Marine and give him this, he heals +1 damage.
Yeah, so it's
So potentially 4 damage on 1 heal is pretty cool.
I mean, otherwise it's just 1 for a regular guy. So
Right.
if you got a Chapter Master to get your rerolls because your local store was sold out of Tharios, then and you don't have the model.
Or you're playing against a lot of Eldar flyers that are like -5 to hit. Like you can pop this stuff and be a little bit. Or
Safer.
he can do that. Anyway, then you've got Will of Iron, which lets you deny a power, or if you're a librarian, you can deny an extra power.
That's pretty nice.
Pretty nice, yeah. I'm definitely going to be taking an Iron Hands Librarian in all my lists. I think the lore is really good, but we'll go over that when we go over that in a minute. Flesh's Weakness, this one's really solid. So this gives you a 5-up Feel No Pain. So I've been thinking, I've been taking a Leviathan Dreadnought in my lists, and I'm thinking I'm going to make him a character and then buy him a Warlord trait and buy him this so he has a 5-up Feel No Pain. I think that's probably a pretty good combination. I really like that. Dave, what do you think about that?
I think that's synergistic.
And then you got Student of History. Merciless Logic is the one from the rulebook. And it's whenever you make an attack with the Warlord, on a 6 to hit, you get to make another attack. It's kind of cool if your Warlord has a lot of ranged weapon attacks. So I can see that being pretty powerful.
Does it work for range? Because I always read this.
It just says make an attack. It doesn't say a melee attack.
Interesting. I've always read it as more of a close combat thing. So
It
it's
used
kinda
to be,
like,
for sure. Right.
mediocre. But if with shooting, I mean, well, even with shooting, my Warlord is probably not that tough.
Sure.
With what he's shooting. So I don't know. It's good, but it's just kind of generic. And then of course you have Target Protocols, which is just
Target Protocols is great. It gives your guys basically salamanders. Fred, are you all right? Yeah, you're fine. All right.
He did not like Target Protocols.
No, he's not
at
into
all.
it. He says that's a garbage trait. That's for weak-minded, humanitarian-ass salamanders. This is Iron Hands, baby.
Right. So, I mean, it's great. It's just basically for... you select a unit in the shooting phase and it becomes salamanders.
Yep, so you get to reroll a hit roll, a wound roll, and a damage roll. Which is actually better. I don't think salamanders get to reroll a damage roll.
Oh, Snikey's better than... You heard it here, folks. Iron Hand's better than salamanders. Danny just said it.
Yeah, I pretty much can confirm that's true. All right, so relics. So you've got the relics of Medusa and the Special Issue War Gear, which is very similar to how the White Scars and Ultramarines books were. So Special Issue War Gear can be taken by anybody, including successor chapters that are from the Iron Hands.
Right.
And then relics of Medusa can only be taken by Iron Hands, although you can give these relics via a stratagem.
And they're kind of...
They've got some good ones for sure.
They have the same ones as everybody else. You know, they've got the adamantine mantle.
Yeah, sure. Adamantine mantle, artificer armor, mastercrafted weapons, digital weapons. Those are all the same.
Yeah.
They added a couple of other ones. The Auto Medicae Bionics give you an extra D3 wounds if your character is wounded every turn.
Yep.
Teeth of Mars, which I thought was clever, like the Teeth of Terra, but then there's also the Teeth of Mars, and Iron Hands get that one.
I like it. It's not as good as the Teeth
It's
of
just
Terra.
different. It's really good against vehicles, like because you can give that to a sergeant as well with Special Issue War Gear.
Oh, yeah.
So giving him a chainsword that is strength 8 and -2 and 2 flat damage is not bad.
No.
And it gives him +1 attack as well.
Yeah, it's super good against vehicles.
You've got Haywire Bolts. And Haywire Bolts are kind of like a Haywire Launcher, but a little bit better, I think. Oh, sorry, Fred is investigating the camera. God, Fred, you were being a pain today.
That's all right.
Everybody loves Fred.
He's just confused why we didn't do this sooner. Before,
Right, yeah.
Before the book was out.
He's like, this is off your normal schedule, guys. All right. So instead of when you roll to wound against a vehicle, regardless of if you actually wound or not, a 4 or a 5 does D3 mortal wounds, and a 6 does 3 flat mortal wounds.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice, actually. Like it's like a 50-50 smite, targeted smite against the vehicle, which is
it's
cool.
Haywire. Though, if you play Eldar, you know what Haywire is. So or Harlequins, you know what
Sure,
Haywire is.
Sure.
And then the Fortis Pattern Data Spike.
Yeah, that thing is cool. So you put it on a Tech Marine, and he rolls 2 dice for his Blessings of the Omnissiah and takes the best one.
Which would save me quite a bit of command points for re-rolling that on the Tech Marine that I already have.
I was just thinking if you give him the Warlord trait in this, then you could be healing 4 damage, and Iron Hands, spoiler, Iron Hands have a stratagem that lets him heal twice.
That is a spoiler. We're not even the stratagems
You
yet,
could
Danny.
heal 8 damage with one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fred. I know.
doesn't appreciate it.
That's bullshit. All right, so you got the Axe of Medusa.
So for regular, these are only Iron Hands chapters, or chapters who say exactly, we are Iron Hands, and they're painted whatever color they
Sure.
want to be.
Or you spend the CP to get a relic.
Right. So the Axe of Medusa, which is a great power axe.
It's actually really good. I was looking at this, and like it's solid. It's almost like a Thunderhammer, but no minus to hit. And yeah, so you only have to pay on a power axe on top of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really solid. So it's +3 strength, -3 AP, 3 damage. So 333, which is a solid stat line.
And power axes do not cost 40 points now. So
Right, power axes are 5 points.
Yeah.
So that's a savings for those of you who aren't doing math. That's 35-point discount for almost the same weapon. Although the break even between strength 7 and strength 8 is pretty significant. So yeah, you think about that as you will. You've got the Aegis Ferrum, which is for Primaris models only, +1 toughness, and you reduce damage by 1.
Yeah, that's the Aegis Ferrum is the extra gene that's the extra organ you get accidentally when you cross through the Primaris Rubicon and become extra badass. Just that one extra wound.
Yep. And so this, I think, is a really great item on a Gravis Captain, because that makes him toughness 6.
That's
and also -1 damage. I mean, that makes him a real beat stick.
Yeah, that's solid, very solid. Like it a lot. The
Mindforge is for is for any force weapon. You upgrade it to this.
Yeah.
And it becomes a Force Thunderhammer with D3 damage instead of 3 flat. But still pretty good.
For a librarian.
Yeah, turn that...
Because Force Swords are cheap, so...
Yeah.
I mean... Thump. Here we go.
Yep, if you really need the extra strength. So then you have Betrayer's Bane, which is an upgrade for a Combi Melta. And what this does is this gives you the Melta an extra shot.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
Yep.
It's not that good.
I mean, so I've noticed that they have done a weapon for so far that we've seen. I'm not sure about the Raven Guard, but there's been a gun replacement for everyone we've seen so far.
Sure.
So there was the Primaris bolt rifle in Ultramarines. There was the.
Don't worry, Dave. There's going to be more guns coming up.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have the Ironstone,
which is arguably the best relic in the entire game. I don't know. It might be. It's pretty close.
It's really good.
It's very, very good.
I mean, reducing damage by anytime you can reduce damage by 1, it's good. So I mean, it's really solid. Solid.
Yep. So any vehicle within 3 inches gets damage reduced by 1. You've seen it on GW's website. It's very powerful. I'm sure you've heard people talking about it.
The internet lost it over it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Then you've got the Tempered Helm. So I've been always spending a CP on this at the start of the game to get this because I think it's totally worth it. It gives the character Grand Strategist, more or less.
Yep.
So a 5+ command point regen is really powerful.
Yeah, it's very good. And then you've got the Gorgon's Chain, which is just a 4-up invuln save.
Yep,
and subtract 1 from the wound roll. So
also really good for ranged weapons.
Yeah. So you're probably not giving the Gorgon's Chain to somebody that already has a 4-up like a captain.
No, it'll probably be like a librarian maybe or
a lieutenant.
Yeah, lieutenant. It'd be good on lieutenant.
But it's situational.
For sure.
So.
All right.
And then we got stratagems.
All right, stratagems. We've got some real bonkers ones here today, guys.
I don't think so. I think they're all perfectly balanced and don't need any changing at all.
Well, so Dave is wrong. So let's move on to what they actually are. All right. So Mercy is weakness. 1 CP. You spend it when you're shooting with a unit from your army. Any 6s that you roll to wound for that unit against that enemy unit count for an extra hit.
Yeah, that's
real good.
Yeah, that's really good. Oh man.
So like on something that gets a lot of really powerful shots, like Repulsor Executioner, for instance, or a bunch of other stuff, it's a very very powerful stratagem.
Yeah, it's a first turn blow your wad, unload with your Executioner, shooting for just to nuke somebody.
Yep.
So your Executioner shoots its las twice. Oh shoot, 2 6s.
Okay, neat.
I got 6 shots with these las cannons, rerolling with my Chapter Master. All right, so let's roll 6 wounds on your knight. Your knight died. Sorry.
I could see this being really good on like Devastator Centurions with las cannons. Like I think that's probably a pretty good combo.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Because that's a lot of las cannon shots. It's like 12 las cannon shots. And then, yeah, anyway. So then you've got Methodical Firepower, where if you ever decide to go out of Devastator Doctrine for some reason. So first of all, check yourself. Like, why did you go to Devastator Doctrine? What's your problem? Like, do you have, are you confused? Like, did you lose your dog? Like, did you forget to take your meds this morning? I don't know.
Are you realizing
for some reason,
accidentally me?
Right. For some reason, you daved it up, and you went out of Devastator Doctrine. So you can use this to count 1 unit as being in Devastator Doctrine.
Yeah.
So at least you have a recourse. Or for some reason you've gone from Devastator to assault to tactical, then to Assault Doctrine for whatever reason, and you can't walk it back 1 step with the stratagem from the basic Space Marine book.
Because you.
I don't know, man. So it's okay. I mean, it's there and it gives you an option.
Yep. It's useful.
Yeah, sure. Then you got March the Ancients,
which
this is a great stratagem.
Will be nerfed because it's garbage.
So at the start of the game, before the game starts, you can pick a Dreadnought You can pick a Dreadnought, pay 1 CP, make him a character, give him +1 attack, +1 leadership. Really cool. Especially it makes like things like the normal Dreadnoughts, the box Dreadnoughts, very good
because they're less than 10 wounds.
than 10 wounds, so they can hide behind your infantry.
Yeah.
So
hide behind just regular infantry. Hide behind other Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, sure. You can hide them behind a Leviathan.
Yeah.
So they have to shoot a Leviathan to try and get your other Dreadnoughts, which is pretty tough customer. Yep, so that's a really good one. You can spend it multiple times. So if you want to take a bunch of Dreadnoughts and make them all characters, you can totally do that too. And then they have options. Then they have access to Warlord traits and other stuff. If you want to, you can spend even more CP on them. So make sure you bring a battalion with Iron Hands, kids. You definitely want the CP.
So triple battalion with scouts. Got it.
Yeah, maybe not that much. But some. You got Vengeance for Istvan 5.
It's a pretty standard thing they've been putting in just pretty much every codex, where it's like, oh, for 1 CP, if Chaos is on the board and fits these characteristics specifically, get X.
Yep.
I mean, it's very situational. It's fluffy, but you're never going to use it.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Probably not.
I mean,
maybe against Alpha Legion, I could see that. Because
Well-
there's enough Alpha Legion people out there that you may want to use this at some point.
I don't think anybody's Alpha Legion, Danny.
Oh, okay, whatever. Oh my God.
I mean,
Dave is Alpha Legion now, apparently.
I would not know if there were. I can tell you that right now.
All right, so Raffle Machines Spirit. You can pick a vehicle for 2 CP and let it reroll to hit rolls. So if you don't have a Chapter Master and you really want to kill that plane that's at -3 to hit, pop this strat, make your tank ballistic skill 2 up, and go to town, reroll in all the misses.
Yeah, that's solid.
Really, really good.
Useful. And then there's another here, like you said, in your spoiler or from earlier, Souls of Iron is any Iron Hands unit. Any Iron Hand unit, by the way, which surprised the hell out of me.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not just, just whatever it is close to somebody can deny it. Like, nope, the Omnissiah said, go fuck your zero self. You know, it's just blocked.
Yeah, so this allows you, this is the same as the Graia stratagem or Black Templars or World Eaters, where if somebody, or Khorne I think has one too, if a Psyker tries to cast a power within 24 inches of one of your units, you can spend 1 CP, roll a dice on a 4-up, the power is stopped. You don't have to deny or anything like that, it just happens,
Yep.
It's gone.
Yep.
So we were talking about this, just kind of joking around about this, and saying like, as an Iron Hands, they go, dude, I'm too smart. Lightning doesn't come out of people's hands. I know that that's not how that works. Like, I'm a scientist, man. I've seen that.
So this actually takes place after a Deny the Witch attempt. So you can fail a Deny the Witch attempt with a librarian and still go, nah, son.
Oh yeah, okay. If you screw it up,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's even better. So, neat. That's pretty cool.
Well, no wonder the librarian didn't deny it. It didn't actually happen.
Yeah, right. It was all in my imagination. Let's see. So Scion of the Forge lets you give your sergeant digital weapons, Teeth of Mars, mastercrafted weapon, or haywire bolts. So it gives you some options for relics that you can give to a sergeant.
Yep.
Then you've got Reject the Flesh, Embrace the Machine. So this lets you boost your Feel No Pain up to a 5+ for an infantry unit, which is pretty nice. Yeah. Or if you have the Warlord trait, it can give you a 4-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, but situational. I mean, I can't think of a lot of just infantry units that I just have to get that extra oomph on to keep them alive. Most of the time I'm just like, just take them.
I can see it if it's on a character, like especially if you get hit by the Doomsday Stratagem or something, or Linebreaker, and then you're like, okay, well I just took 6 mortal wounds, I've got 5 wounds. Well, if I pop this strat, I have a pretty good chance of just living. So
I will probably end up using this when my repulsor executioners blow up.
There you go.
Automatically, they do.
Yeah, that's the ticket, Dave. All right, then we've got Engine Purge, and this allows. This basically gives you on 6s to wound, you get an extra AP. And this is for the entire Iron Hands army, and you use it during the movement phase.
Yeah, I
for
really,
a battle round.
I really like it.
It's good.
I mean, if you just really got to take down a bunch of Space Marines right off the bat, it's very helpful. Yeah,
if your opponent has paid for cover or something like that in the first turn, and your guns are only -2 AP, pathetically only -2 AP, you can really boost them up to -3 AP on those 6s to wound.
I think this is where I would put in a sarcasm graphic. They're only -2, so you get to -3.
Hey man, I'm still playing Iron Hands, so I mean you don't have to.
I mean you're playing them currently.
Yeah.
Just wait until Imperial Fist come out.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, so we got Gorgon's Rage. This allows you to pick an Iron Hands infantry unit, and they get +1 to hit in the combat phase, or the fight phase. And then if it's against Emperor's Children model, you get also +1 to wound, because Emperor's Children are suck ass for Iron Hands. They don't like them. They were best bros. Then they cut off their dad's head. Their dad cut off your dad's head. We don't like him anymore.
That's all true.
That's
all true.
Yep.
It's in the lore, which you can read at the earlier part of the book.
Absolutely. So then they have Cogitated Martyrdom. This one's really fun. So they did preview this one.
Oh yeah, it is Martyrdom. Okay.
So this allows you to, at the start of the shooting phase, pick one of your characters. And then for 1 CP, you can pass off any damage that thing takes as mortal wounds to an infantry unit within 3 inches.
Which then they can save against because Iron Hands.
Right, they get to feel no pain again. So
there's been a little bit of discussion about it.
Okay.
On some of the forums that you and I visit, and it's similar but not exactly like Savior Protocol.
Oh sure.
Because this actually.
It doesn't discount the hit. You still have to roll damage and everything like that.
Yeah, you roll the damage out, and then they take that many mortal wounds, as opposed to, here's the wound roll, stops here, just 1. Flat 1 mortal. You're going to take however many, the D6 damage or D3 damage or whatever it is, because, let's be honest, you're not cogitating, you're not spending the CP for bolter fire,
Sure.
So
probably not. I don't know. We don't know. Imperial Fist might have really good bolters, dude.
All right, well.
You don't know.
Maybe.
But I'm agreeing with you for the most part.
So the thing to remember is you have to do it you take 1 mortal wound for each damage the character suffered. So.
Yep. I was thinking I might just pass these off to scouts. If I made I have a Leviathan Dreadnought say at the front of my army who's a character. And I'm all right, well I'm gonna use the half damage stratagem on him already. But you know what? I'm really scared of the amount of damage that you're able to put out. I'm just going to pop this so I can feed off five more extra wounds to the scouts and not have to worry about my good unit dying.
Right.
So, worth it.
Yeah, totally.
All right, then you got Machine Empathy. This allows you to repair in extra time with Blessing of the Omnissiah.
Super good.
Yep. So you can use this on Ferios to heal for 6 automatically for 1 CP. Or if you make a Super Techmarine healer, if you wanted to do that, you could heal him for potentially 8.
Yep. Keep that Leviathan alive.
That's right. Keep him kicking, guys. All right, then you got Paragon of War. This allows you to...
Iron.
Paragon of Iron. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, you're right. So this allows you to heal, or this allows you to get an extra Warlord trait on your character.
Warlord. Yeah, no, on your Warlord.
Yeah, sorry, on your Warlord specifically. So you can have 2 Warlord traits.
Yeah.
So and then Space Marines have a one that you can give any character a Warlord trait as well.
Right. And it's
slightly different, but still good.
And it says if randomly generated, reroll duplicate results. If you are brave enough that you are randomly generating your Warlord trait, applause.
Yeah, man. Hey, some people do it.
That's crazy.
They are crazy. I agree.
So, and then optimal repulsion doctrines.
Yep. So this one allows you to get Overwatch on a 4+.
This is my favorite.
Really, really good.
My favorite.
4+ Overwatch is really powerful. Especially then you're going to probably be re-rolling 1s as well. So that's about a 58% hit chance, which is pretty
or
good.
re-rolling everything,
Sure.
If you're chapter mastered. So
right. Or you pop Wrathful Machine Spirit on your vehicle.
At the same time.
Yeah. So 3 CP, 4s with a full reroll.
Well, we're spending a lot of CP this game, Danny.
I'm telling you.
Did we bring 12 battalions?
Yeah, we can bring 12
Did
battalions.
we brigade the Iron Hands? Is that what happened?
These are all Bolter Scouts that I'm just re-rolling hit rolls on.
No, I really like it. I think a 4 to 6. I think it might be a little low at 1 CP. I feel like that should be a 2 CP.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know.
It's probably fine.
So
it's only 1 unit, right? It's not like I'm getting to pick 3 Ultramarine units to shoot at you.
Yeah, because if you could
that's
do
a thing, though.
Yeah, could you imagine doing that and then adding this to it? Like, boom, now they all are at 4.
Oh, no. Pass. Hard pass. All right, so then you have Mnemonic Auto Savant. And that one is for your tactical objective cards. This one's actually really cool, too, though, right?
It is,
so,
but it's only if you're playing tactical objectives.
Yeah, if you're playing Maelstrom, this is a great stratagem. So this stratagem, and some of our listeners do play Maelstrom, which is good.
Oh, yeah.
And so this allows you just to, like, instead of using a card and getting the points for it, you use the card, get the points for it, and then put it back in your hand. Because doing the same thing twice...
That you already have?
Yeah. So they figure, Iron Hands just figure, oh, that's a good way to win. If this is already helping us to win, let's just do it again. Why are we doing anything else?
Isn't one of the tactical objectives slay the Warlord or something like
sure.
that? So if you had slay, like, I play this to slay the Warlord and claim it. Oh, and also I'm going to put it back in my hand to do it next turn.
Oh, look, and I got another D3 victory points for doing that.
For slaying the Warlord.
Got him. And then we have, finally, Bequeathed by the Iron Council. And this one is the one that lets your non-Iron Hands successor chapters get relics from the Iron Hands book.
Yep.
Or chapter relics, I guess. What are they called? Relics of Medusa.
Yep. Relics of Medusa.
All right.
And then we have Technomancy.
Oh, man, Technomancy.
So I'm going to be honest, I'm a little nonplussed by some of it.
Man, really?
Yeah.
I think it's got, like, 4 good powers.
Okay. I mean... Yeah, I just don't think that they don't make a librarian auto include in my opinion.
Oh man, I totally disagree.
Oh, well, tell me why, Danny.
All right, so you've got Blessing of the Machine God, Warp Charge 5. If manifested, select an enemy or a friendly Iron Hands vehicle. Actually, I think it has 5 good powers. An Iron Hands vehicle, no, 4 good powers. Yeah, 4 good powers. Anyway, so select an Iron Hands vehicle within 12 inches, and it gets +1 to hit. If you roll 8 or more, then you can select a Titanic unit.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good.
Oh my god, it's so powerful.
It is. It's very good. You can give Pharos to one, you can give that to another. But this is the one that they previewed, wasn't it?
Warp Charge 5. Yeah.
So, it's 2 of your Repulsor Executioners are hitting on 2s,
I think that's really powerful.
It's good.
I also like Objuration Mechanicum, especially on a unit that has a lot of shots. And again, assuming that your opponent's army doesn't utilize a lot of rerolls,
Right.
I think that's important to note too. So just something to pay attention to. And basically, what this does is it gives your enemy's vehicle gets hot.
Yeah, it gives them overcharged plasma.
Right. So on ones to hit, they take a mortal wound.
Yep, and that's okay. You know,
I think it's great if your opponent has like a Bane Blade or like the Shadow Sword with all the guns on it or something like that. Like, because it's shooting like 30 times, it's probably going to get 5 or 6 mortal wounds from trying to shoot at you.
You know what? I hadn't thought about that at all. It probably, you're right. And you could also put it on a knight.
Yeah, heck yeah. And those mortal wounds start to stack up for that knight too.
Yeah.
Especially with like, oh man, you know what it's great against is the knight with the twin Gatling cannons.
Yes. Oof. Maybe.
Now, granted, he does probably get to reroll a lot of shots. Yeah,
probably taking the.
But I don't know. I still think you're going to do quite a few mortal wounds to him. I think so. I like that power too. Yep, and it's an unmodified roll of 1, so they can't get past it by getting +1 to hit.
Yeah.
So unlike plasma, which you can say, oh yeah, no, I actually don't overheat because I have like a +1 bonus to hit. Like I have Blessings of the Machine God on my tank that overheats. Then I never do.
Yep.
Anyway, so then you've got Fury Medusa, and this allows you to, once you manifest it, select one enemy model within 18 inches invisible, draw a line between those two, and then any enemy unit, and including the enemy model, takes a mortal wound on a 4 or a 5, and a 6. A 6 plus does D3 mortal wounds. You get to add 2 to this dice roll if there's a vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay.
I mean, yeah, it's just a way to dish out some mortal wounds, you know?
Right.
But not like, oh, I have to have a librarian for it to get this off.
No,
you know?
you're right.
You know, it's a straight line of 18 inches, so your librarian's got to be close.
Sure.
You got to be within 18 inches, which puts you within threat of charge range for most armies, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this power is not one that I would rate as being good. It's okay, but it's not great.
It's a power.
It is.
We'll say that.
Now, Size Steel Armor, I think, is amazing. That's another great power. So it's a 6. Pick a friendly unit within 12. They get +1 to their saving throws, non-invulnerable saving throws.
Yeah, I do like that.
So I've been casting this on my Eliminators.
Oh, really?
Like when I have to take an objective in the center of the board, I can just throw Eliminators up there with this power on them, and then they are a 0+ armor save and cover. So that means that you have to be AP -3 in order to not have them have a 2-up save.
Huh. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it worked out really well. Like my opponent was just like, well, I'm not shooting at those guys. That's a waste of time. I'll shoot at something that doesn't have a 2+ save. So, pretty solid. Reforge, another great power.
Yeah.
The only issue with this one is the short range. It has a range of 3 inches, warp charge 5, and the vehicle unit gains back D3 wounds. So another heal.
Yeah, it's a heal, but it's just kind of a power because you have to be right there next to it to knit the stuff back together. Yep. And the odds of your librarian standing right there it just doesn't seem that good to me. Not when you have to be out to do everything else to everybody else, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, my librarian is usually hanging out in my little castle. So he's hanging out there with Farios and my lieutenant with the Ironstone in like a little tri-lobe machine god version of perfection. All different cogs rotating and making my army work. And so he heals with Farios, one of my Leviathan Dreadnought, for instance, that they work so hard to put wounds on. Well, haha, just joke's on you. No, you didn't. So I can heal for free, more or less, as long as this power goes off, which on a 5 is about 90%. It's 3 plus D3 wounds, so an average of 5, which is pretty good. And then, I don't know, I think that's great. I can cast Size Steel Armor if I want to, which is great. I can cast Blessings of the Machine God if I wanted to pick a different power.
So how are you getting Size Steel Armor 12 inches to the center of the board for your Eliminators?
Because I'm walking up the table with my army. I got to get that Leviathan Dreadnought in range of those Storm Cannons, baby.
Got it. Okay.
So, and I honestly, my army advances pretty well. It doesn't normally stay put in its own deployment zone. It usually walks up the table. And then I've got planes flying around in my enemy's deployment zone, stuff like that as well.
Okay. So
anyway,
that brings us to Machine Flins.
Yeah, Machine Flins is pretty garbage too. So you target an enemy vehicle with an 18. They take... So it's only 6, which is nice. They take D3 mortal wounds. Then you can select another enemy within 6 of that vehicle, and on a 3 up, they take a wound for every mortal wound you did with the original D3. So, like, if your opponent has 2 knights that are close together, you can potentially do like 6 mortal wounds to both,
6 wounds, 3,
which is not bad. And it's another smite that doesn't increase the value. So, if you are going up against an army like knights, for instance, and you need to do some extra mortal wounds, like just to plink off the last few wounds on a model, this is a good way to do this combined with a smite.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So it just gives you some options.
So, yeah. And then tactical objectives, which are, kind of designed for...
They're for Maelstrom, and so you get these instead of the first...
kind of narrative play.
Sure. And you get those against... or you get those for a bunch of different things that are pretty fluffy for Iron Hands. And you'll also get the actual cards in the Iron Hands card deck that you can buy with their psychic powers and everything else. The final thing, and this is awesome, is your Iron Hands name generator, which I will be using to give my lieutenant a name when I finish painting him.
Oh, the lieutenant didn't die, gonna get a name?
Yeah, he's not going to be Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, nice.
As shocking as that is.
So, there you go. That's the Iron Hands.
So overall, I'm super excited about this book. I think it's really great. I don't know that it's very powerful. Let's say that. Like, it makes me slightly nervous for game balance, but I have a lot of faith in GW's ability to balance the rules for this edition. And so, it might seem really powerful now, but I'm sure that there's plenty of answers. In fact, I think some of the other Space Marine books counter Iron Hands pretty hard. I think White Scars do a good job of shutting them down with no Overwatch powers.
Yeah.
And being able to get into assault on turn 1 with a unit of bikes, no problem. Also, Raven Guard have a bunch of ways to shut down Overwatch, a bunch of ways to get into combat really close, like on the first turn, which we'll go over. So there's a lot of play on them. In addition, they'll be able to kill all those characters very easily.
Yeah, it's a solid book, and I've heard it said that, it's Iron Hands are kind of for our dummies. Like, you could play Iron Hands and make mistakes and get, you'll still win your game because they're Iron Hands. There are a lot of sneaky things that Iron Hands can still do that competitive players can do to make Iron Hands that top tier level.
Sure.
So,
you take a book that's already powerful, you add some extra stuff to it, or some extra player skill to it, it's just going to make it even better.
So, you heard it here. Iron Hands winning LVO 2020. Suck on that, Frankie. It's not going to be by me.
Sure.
Maybe Danny, if we're lucky.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's our Iron Hands review. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen to us on our podcast, on wherever fine podcasts are sold.
Yeah. and ours.
Also ours, yeah.
And this was possible by our generous donations from our Patreon. We went out and picked it up because we didn't receive it to review. So, yeah, thanks to our Patreon subscribers. And if you want to see more like this, you want to support us on the Patreon, great. We appreciate it. If you don't, well, also okay, because we do this because we like to.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.